Hello，咁多位好。
Hi, welcome back to the channel.
好快又一年咯喎。
Now we're going to talk about New Year again.
OK，嗱，而家我首先咧講老鼠先。OK，2024年生肖屬老鼠嘅朋友。
So we're going to start first with the Year of the Rat. So if you're a Year of the Rat viewer, listener, this is for you.
OK，嗱，你話好同唔好就好難講啦。事關佢有吉星，但係啲吉星又唔係去到咁靚嘅。
So if you're going to ask, is it really good or really bad? It's not really good or bad because you do have stars that are aligned in your element this year that are good, but they're not like great. They're just good.
係啦，OK 嗱，咁老鼠嘅朋友咧，2024年留意自己嘅身體咧，就有機會受意外啦。
So for this year, for those of you the rat, be a little bit more mindful of your body because this year you're prone to accidents.
事關你喺個命宮裏邊咧，出現一粒我叫白虎星啦。咁白虎星係代表咩咧？就代表有血光啦，有意外啦。
So this star this year that's in your alignment is a star that usually causes accidents or for you to bleed.
嗱，咁屬老鼠嘅朋友就要留意下個心臟啦。
So we highly suggest that those born in the year of the rat this year pay a little bit more attention to your health, your heart especially, and if you have any ailments, even little one, go to the doctor.
係啦，尤其是譬如車啲坐車或者過馬路要小心啲啦。事關咧今年咧有機會係有車禍啦，或者係俾啲硬嘅物件撞到自己啦。
So this year, be especially careful when you're driving or crossing the streets because this year the star in the element is more prone to accidents with heavy objects such as cars and etc.
OK， 咁工作方面嘞喎，咁咧就有兩粒叫做吉星啦。咁咧喺名與利上邊咧都其實都可以幾好嘅。
So in terms of your career, you have two good stars, which means for multiple things, it's actually good for you.
嗱喺權力上啦。財運上啦，都比較舊年會好啲嘅。
So in terms of power and wealth this year, finances, it would be better than last year's.
尤其是做生意嘅朋友咧，就會更加好啲。咁咧，你會可能識到啲新嘅朋友，咁咧有機會同你合作一個新嘅生意。
So, for example, if you are an entrepreneur and you own a business this year, for those of you the rat, it would be good for you because you may meet new people that will push your business further.
喺財運方面，頭先講緊啦，咁有粒吉星就可以令到你一個財運咧可以財源滾滾嚟嘅。
So, in terms of wealth, as I just mentioned before, it's going to come rolling in.
係啦，咁打工仔咧就會容易啲去俾你上司賞識你啦，咁你有機會好容易就升級啦，咁財運就會多咗。不過記住，財多就會身子弱，記得揾到錢時一定要留意自己嘅身體。
So, for this year, especially if you're a worker, you will notice that like your hard work is going to be paid off. This year, you'll get the recognition, possibly even promotion that you wanted. But do know that with a lot of wealth coming in also makes body weaker. That's just how like the elements align. So just make sure you are mindful of your own health on top of your wealth.
OK， 咁喺感情方面咧，就今年咧又話有啲新嘅突破啦。
So in terms of relationships this year, there's going to be new breakthroughs.
不過咧就好容易俾情緒影響到自己。
But you will be very easily emotionally swayed.
係啦，咁如果即係你自己係單身嘅人士咧，就有啲心儀嘅對象咧，你可以大膽啲去追求嘅。
So if you are currently single and you have someone in mind that you would like to pursue, 2024 is the year you should go and pursue it.
不過咧，大家就係要記住啦，今年咧自己嘅脾氣可能會暴躁咗嘅，咁咧就要盡量將自己嘅脾氣咧要收一收啦。
But do be mindful that this year your temperament may be a little bit more than normal. So mindful of that when you're interacting with other people. Just be mindful of your temperament.
係啦，大致上屬鼠嘅朋友咧，2024年嘅流年運程咧，其實都尚算好嘅。
But in 2024, for the year of the rat, overall, your general fortune is pretty good.
OK 嗱，咁我講緊成年嘅運程啦喎。咁通常咧嗱，我而家講緊係農曆嘅正月開始嚇。咁正月咧就財運啊成啊都係算旺嘅。
So we're gonna start talking about months, but months in the Chinese calendar, not the American calendar. So just make sure you match your months. So in the first year, it's good.
Yeah.
Like the first month of the first year.
係啦， 咁咧跟住2月啦，就會小心啲，有啲意外，事關你有個白虎啊，成咧有個唔係咁好嘅星喺你個命宮啦。咁你2月就要小心啲啦，好容易有意外發生啦。
So February of the Chinese calendar, you have to be a little bit more mindful because that's the month where the accidents are more prone to happen. So you just got to be a little bit more mindful.
OK， 咁喺3月同4月咧，就好自然咧，就又有一啲頭先我先講你嘅朋友出現啦，你有貴人出現啦，咁咧又可以幫你逢凶化吉嘅。
So March and April on the Chinese calendar, those are the months where you will have, possibly new people coming in your life to help you and boost whether your career or your business, etc.
OK， 咁喺5、6月之間咧，你有機會咧係有機會破財嘅，不過咧就小心留意啲咧，就將個破財嘅機會降到最低。嗱，逢劫都要受。你又要破就一定要破，唔好諗住話我擋，但係希望將佢降到最低。
So May and June is the month you may take a financial loss, a financial hit. So there's these things we can't avoid, right? So instead of avoiding it, we're going to try and lessen whatever the financial hit may be. So just be very mindful in May and June of the Chinese calendar of your finances.
OK， 咁由7月去到12月咧，不論喺做生意嘅朋友啦，打工嘅朋友啦，都會好順嘅。咁咧跟住就會啲錢財啊，成日都會好慢慢咁樣咁提升。咁名同利都會同一時間會相升嘅。咁調轉就話好唔好？好，不過都係嗰句，小心身體。
So from July until December on the Chinese calendar, it's projected to be really good, whether it be for your job or your career. Things will be going really well, but the most important thing is, again, when things go well, certain things are bound to be the opposite, right? So just be very, very mindful of your health this year.
OK， 咁我而家講到咧就係2024年。生肖屬牛嘅朋友啦。
So now we're gonna go to the year of the ox.
OK， 咁屬牛嘅朋友咧，今年咧就空星咧就比較多啲嘅。
So unfortunately this year for those born in the year of the ox, there's a lot more negative stars.
吉星都有嘅，就唔係話冇，不過咧就空星咧比較麻煩啲啦。例如是非多啦。有機會同人鬧交啦，又有機會俾人哋覺得你係好麻煩啦，又同埋如果你係單身嘅話，或者係自己無聊嘅話咧，就會胡思亂想啦。
So there are a few good stars, but the bad stars this year are pretty intense. So for example, there will be a lot so the stars, what they bring is one would be a lot of gossip, a lot of fights. And if you are currently single, a lot of useless thoughts in your head. That's what it'll bring.
不過好彩咧，屬牛嘅朋友咧，今年嘅吉星咧都可以叫做照得下啦。點解咧？事關咧佢有4個嘅吉星咧就喺上面嘅，咁就又唔係話去到咁差。
So although there are a few things that are bad that I just mentioned, there are good stars that can kind of almost even out the bad stars for you this year.
係啦，咁咧就係防止咩咧？防止有啲小人啊，成日話你啊，成嘅啫。
So the good stars, what they do is they help you avoid people who will, tattle on you, rat on you, or snitch you out.
OK， 咁屬牛嘅朋友喺2024年嘅身體咧，基本上都唔係咁差嘅。
So 2024 in terms of health for the year of the ox, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
係啦，咁事關咧你嘅星裏邊咧啲唔好嘅星咧，只係令到你容易同人鬧交啦，咁有機會令到同人打交，令到你受傷嘅啫。
So the bad stars, they're not pertaining to ruining your health. They're more of just ones that make your relationship with other people possibly a little bit worse than before. So they're not detrimental in terms of your personal health.
OK， 咁喺工作方面嘞喎，咁咧工作方面咧，你吉星就其實都幾好嘅，咁有貴人幫助下啦，咁你樣嘢都會好順利嘅。
So in terms of your career, you have a couple of things that are good for you. For example, you have people this coming year in the 2024 that will be helping you out. Things should be going very smoothly in your career-wise.
OK， 咁頭先講緊啦，你嗰粒有粒是非，有粒嘅卷舌嘅飛咧，即係好容易同人鬧交，或者俾人哋督你背脊，你就覺得唔舒服啦。咁你就會令到你特別衝動，而令到同對方有衝突。但係記住，千祈唔好咁樣做。
So, as mentioned before, right, you have a star of people gossiping a lot about you. So, just be mindful to not overreact and not to like cause a scene that you know you will regret later. Because oftentimes these stars make you do things, say things that you wouldn't normally do or say, and it makes you act out on your own way. So, just be very mindful.
少説話多做事，咁咧貴人出現嘅話，就自然會令到你有機會升級啦。做生意嘅朋友咧，有機會個公司會提升到個名氣啦，咁亦都可以令到你銀紙都會加多咗嘅。
So, pertaining to your career with the arguments and everything like that. So, this year, just talk a little bit less, do a little bit more, show it through your efforts and your work and not really with your mouth, so that if you do meet a person that's going to help you out in your career, you don't say the wrong thing and instead it's going to help you.
OK， 咁喺財運方面咧，頭先我先講緊就係話少啲得罪人嘅話咧，即係意思話唔係得罪人嘅，少啲講嘢咧，咁就唔會得罪人啦。咁唔會得罪人嘅話，你都唔會犯上官非。咁變咗，如果唔犯官非嘅話，你要揾嘅錢就可以自己袋袋啦。但係如果你成日同人衝突，又例如打交成，咁你犯咗官非嘅話，你好自然就令到你嘅財運都會跌嘅。
So this year, as mentioned just before, right, the temperament a little bit this year is really one thing you'd be very mindful of. And the one thing, how it pertains to wealth is oftentimes this year, if you were born the year of the ox, and you get into a lot of arguments, you get into a lot of fights, you know, possibly even lashing out to physical fights, you can get in trouble. And when I mean trouble, I mean with the law, whatsoever, etc. Whether it's a fender bender and you go punch the guy or something like that, right? So just be very mindful not to do that, because if you don't do that, then all the money you take home won't go to lawsuits. Instead, it'll go to yourself. So just be very, very mindful of your temper this year.
係啦，如果喺財運方面咧，如果你唔係頭先我先講緊嘅嘢話咧，基本上咧，你今年嘅財運咧都唔錯嘅，幾好嘅。即係如果喺屬牛嚟講係算，都係財運裏面都係算上乘嘅啦。
So your wealth, if taken into account of what I just said before about the temperament, if you don't act out, you don't get in trouble, you're just, you know, laying low, you say a little bit less, do a little bit more this year, your wealth should be way better than it was last year, because out of you know the zodiac signs this year, the ox wealth is actually pretty good.
OK， 嗱喺感情方面咧，今年咧其實都有個突破嘅，有個空間可以令到咧你嘅感情咧會，譬如咁講兩公婆啦，就會唔鬧交嘅，唔好鬧交啊！記得唔鬧交嘅話咧，基本上今年咧你嘅感情係比舊年之前係更加好咗嘅，尤其是單身或者有異性嘅朋友咧，咁基本上係比你之前會好咗。不過都係嗰句説話，你今年嗰個好容易鬧交嘅聲咧係傳得好緊要嘅，所以咧就最好就唔好鬧交啦。事關鬧交得嚟咧，而且仲有一個我哋叫做即係好容易形單隻影嘅孤星，咁就變咗你就冇咗一個突破啦。所以記得今年唔好鬧交同埋唔好衝動。
So again, for like the fourth time, this year, do not get into fights, do not be temperamental, because in terms of relationship-wise, if you are married, if you don't fight this year, you will realize you have even more loving relationship with your spouse. But if you aren't married and you have a partner and you fight, or you are married and you fight, your relationship will go way worse. So this year, you gotta really be careful of your mouth.
係啦，退一步，海闊天空，咁就乜事都冇噶啦。OK， 咁我就講下今年嘅成年嘅運程咯喎。咁喺正月啦，基本上咧就係運勢成日都係平嘅啫。
So we're going to start talking about how your year will progress in the Chinese calendar. So the January of the Chinese calendar, your start of the year will be just very normal, nothing like special, just very, very normal, which is good.
OK， 喺2月1度去到6月嗰幾個月咧，咁就留意啦。點解咧？你嗰個口舌成咧係特別強嘅，所以咧少説話，多做事，凡事都要忍氣。
So from February to June of the Chinese calendar, these are the 4 months, 5 months you really need to be careful of, because that's where that star that brings the gossip and the bad temperament into your element. So for those couple of months, you really need to learn to control your temper, or to hold in your temper, and to not say a lot of things that you will regret saying.
係啦，咁去到7月8月就開始啦。咁你個天德嗰個福星咧就會出現嘅。天德同福星嗰個出現咗之後咧，咁咧基本上咧每一樣嘢都可以解決到，不論喺工作上啦、感情上啦、財運上都可以好啲嘅。
So once July and August of the Chinese calendar hits, you will realize things have taken a change. These are when your two good stars come into alignment with your element, which makes things a lot smoother for you, whether it be your relationship-wise, or career-wise or wealth-wise.
係啦，咁喺9月到12月開始咧，啲頭先我先講咧財運一路咁起啦，一路咁令到每一樣嘢都會越嚟越順啦。咁咧基本上成年咧個財運裏邊咧就唔係咁差嘅。OK， 咁我哋而家講到咧就係2024年嘅老虎咯喎。
So now we're going to go into the next zodiac sign, which is the tiger.
係老虎，老虎出生老虎嘅朋友就今年就真係都比較麻煩啲啦。
So unfortunately, those born in the year of the tiger this year, it's going to be a little messy.
點解咧？事關咧屬老虎嘅朋友今年咧吉星咧就真係有啲少啦。咁個吉星除咗係可以移動同埋一個有得名利嘅星之外，根本就係冇乜嘢可以大用啲嘅吉星啦。
So although there are a few good stars in your element, none of them are really big in terms of helping you. They're more like very little ones.
係啦，事關咧空星裏邊咧有天狗啊，有個天哭啊，有個吊客啊，咁就麻煩啲嘅。
So you have a lot more messy and annoying bad stars than your good stars.
嗱喺今年咧個健康裏邊咧就比較就爭啲啦。
So those born of the tiger the year this year, your health isn't as best as it could be.
係啦，咁 OK 嗱，屬虎嘅朋友咧，今年個身體咧就要留意啲啦。點解咧？個天狗咧就入主宮啦，咁咧就好容易令到你有血光啦。金屬嘅受傷啦，交通意外嘅受傷啦，高危嘅受傷啦，同埋孕婦好容易有機會出現事嘅。
So a lot of things. So just give me 1 second. So the first one would be
血光啦
you will easily have accidents that leads to bleeding. Then you will
交通
have traffic accidents, car accidents, etc.
高危工作啦，
If you work in
危險嘅工作啦。
hazardous environment, construction, etc., stuff like that, things where you put your life on the line, things can go wrong this year.
同埋
If you're
女性
pregnant, if you're a female and you're pregnant this year, there can be also a lot of complications.
係啦，事關咧天狗入命宮咧，就即係女士就要提防啦。點解咧？就係流產啊、意外啊，即係嘅發生啦。咁男士咧就要提防咩咧？就係破相啦。有時有好容易留到疤痕啊，成咁嘅意外啦。
So the difference between a female tiger this year, if you're a female and you're a male, is that males, the accidents are more prone to leading you to be disfigured, you know, leaving scars or stuff like that. For women, it's more towards the side of if you do become pregnant, complications of pregnancy, miscarriage, possible loss of pregnancy, and other health complications.
係啦，所以要小心啲啦。OK， 咁喺工作方面咧，其實咧今年都冇乜所謂嘅大突破嘅。
So in terms of your career this way, there's not really a big breakthrough this year.
OK， 咁係咪話去到咁慘咧？又唔係嘅。咁如果你今年年頭2月4號，即係我哋叫做轉年之後咧，你走一轉啦。點解？你喺個命宮裏邊有一個叫驛馬啦，你可以離開自己住嘅地方啦，去一個短嘅旅行啦。咁就希望將嗰個唔好嘅運勢扭一扭佢。
So, is it really that terrible? Well, there is something you can do. So, in the turn of the new year in the Chinese calendar, February 4th, right, you should take a short little vacation going a little bit further away because there's a star in your element this year. It's like a travel star. So, if you travel, it's in hopes that it brings back the luck around to you instead of just like staying in place. So, our suggestion is in the turn of the new year, on 2024 for the Chinese calendar, go on a short vacation.
事關喺工作裏邊咧，你嘅天狗入咗命宮咧，我哋要提防咩咧？就係黑狗偷食就白狗當災，咁咧就變咗一個你做一個代罪羔羊啦。
So this year, you may realize that you will become like a scapegoat for a lot of things, for people like throwing you under the bus, etc. So we highly recommend you go on that short vacation to try and change your luck around.
係啦，所以今年你做嘢咧，每一樣嘢咧最好就咩咧？就係話 俾翻啲證據自己，證明自己做嘅嘢，咁咧就提防咗隻天狗，我哋叫做即係你驚佢入咗你個命宮裏邊咬咗你嘅話咧，咁就死無對證啦。所以今年做嘢嘅朋友或者做生意同人簽任何合同嘅人都係要會留意呢一樣嘢，就係話防止俾人哋轉頭話你嘅嘢。
So this year, in terms of your career-wise, if you are working, just leave a paper trail for yourself, documenting things that you've done, you've accomplished, or who told you to do what, because this year you will realize if you don't do that and someone throws you under the bus, you have no proof to help yourself, and you are prone this year to be thrown under the bus. So just prepare yourself, have your, evidence ready just to, support your own self.
係啦，咁頭先講啦，財運方面咧，你年頭咧，你走一轉啦，即係去旅行又好，乜都好啦。總之離開你自己嘅出生地或者你嘅居住地，即係好似我哋咁，我哋喺美國嘅，我喺香港出世，咁我就變咗我要離開我自己嘅住嘅地方同埋我出生嘅地方。咁例如我去中美洲或者去南美洲，咁我就完全係一個同我冇關係嘅地方走一轉，咁咧個運勢就會改變啦。
So we mentioned just before about traveling. So the thing with traveling the new year is you want to go to a place where you're not residing in or where you're from. So for example, we're from Hong Kong, but we're now in America. If I need to do this travel, I cannot go to Hong Kong. I cannot stay in America. I can go to South America. I can go to Europe. I can go to anywhere except for those two places that I have consistently been living or creating my life. So our recommendation again is if you can at the start of the new year of the Chinese calendar, go on a short vacation somewhere, a couple of days, maybe a week or so, come back in hopes that that travel star that you have in your element, that it'll bring some luck with you.
OK， 喺感情方面咧，都係嗰句啦，即係你今年咧就真係唔好諗住話自己有任何嘅感情嘅進展啦。點解咧？你桃花裏邊係一粒吉星都冇嘅 ，OK 喺個命宮裏邊，咁咧所以感情方面咧都係平平淡淡嘅一年嚟嘅啫。
So in terms of relationship, it's going to be very so-so because there is not a single good star in your element this year for relationships. So don't expect anything out of the ordinary, live your life as you normally are, and that's just how it's going to be this year.
OK， 不過咁講，單身嘅朋友又唔同嘅喎。
If you're single, this is a little different.
係啦，事關我都講緊，你走一轉旅行嗰時咧，你亦都有機會喺嗰個情況之下會識到異性嘅朋友啦。
So we mentioned going on that short vacation. So if you do go on that short vacation, for those that are single, you might meet someone on the vacation for you.
不過又要講喎，已婚嘅朋友千祈唔好咁諗咯喎。
Yeah, but again, if you are already married, this is not
係啦，所以咧
work for you.
已婚嘅朋友你一定要帶埋你另外一半去旅行，
Yeah.
就可以唔會出現到嗰個問題啦。
Yeah. So if you are going to go on vacation and you are married and you were born in the year of the tiger, take your spouse with you, or else it's not going to end well.
OK 嗱，我嘅意見就係話，如果今年屬虎嘅朋友咧，就帶翻轉三合就比較會好啲嘅。
So for those born in the year of the tiger, this year we recommend you wear the 3 jade chain.
OK， 咁順次序啦。如果睇開我都知㗎啦。豬啦、狗、馬下邊加8個八卦。
So the order in the jade order would be first would be the pig, then the horse, then the pig, dog, and then the horse, and then at the end you add the little 8 charm.
圖片有㗎啦。
You'll see it in the picture.
OK， 咁咧咁又講成年嘅運程咯喎。咁咧成年咧正月都係即係我哋叫農曆嘅一月啦，就係好平平淡淡嘅啫。
So the start of the new year for Tiger also is going to be very, very just nonchalant, so-so. Nothing too exciting.
所以點解要去旅行咧？就係話喺一正月之後就係去一轉旅行，就係話等佢個平淡可以改變到。
So the reason why we said in the early year of the next year in 2024 you want to go on vacation is because you want to go out and bring back that luck in so that things can remain calm for you instead of like a roller coaster.
係啦，你去一轉旅行之後咧，跟住由2月到應該由2月到差唔多7月啊，咁咧都係可以平平淡淡，但係又唔會去到好差，咁咧就大約喺5、6月之後咧就開始每一樣嘢就開始見入佳境，會順翻，會好啲嘅。
So if you go on the vacation like we highly, highly recommend you to do, right, you will realize from February in the Chinese calendar till July the Chinese calendar, things aren't like crazy. It's just like, you know, going okay for you. It's not exceptionally well, but it's not like horrible either. But things are just going for you. And you will realize as approaching, you know, May and June on the Chinese calendar, if you did go on that vacation like we told you to, things will start smoothing out by those months.
係啦，咁嚟到下半年啦，差唔多由8月幾開始啦，咁去到12月咧就可以見到出頭天啦。咁咧亦都可以每一樣嘢都可以順翻去，即係你之前嘅工作啊、財運啊，成都可以順翻住行噶啦。
So from August until December on the Chinese calendar, if you went on vacation, like I said, for the 5th time or 6th time now, right, you will realize things are starting to now finally smooth out, pick up the pace, things are going finally good for you, and returning to what it was prior to the turn of the new year.